I talked about forgiveness and letting things go in my last video, and I didn't get a chance to really go in depth about forgiveness or how to do it or what letting go really means. So I wanted to do that in this video. And this really is just about, I don't want anyone to think that this is, because forgiveness is such a touchy subject and really serious. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm telling you what to do or you should do this. This is just my story that I'm sharing with you, my opinion, what I've been through, and just sharing with you my lived experience. And maybe it might help you, maybe it might not. So take what works for you, and if it doesn't, just listen and move on. So, forgiving is, like I said, such a touchy subject because it's not easy to do, but it is so freeing. When you're able to release resentment, you are able to go on with your life. You are able to physically, mentally, and spiritually heal, which is so important. I turned 50 in September of last year. And even at 50, I am still working on myself. I'm always going to be working on myself. Still at 50, I had healing to do with my mother, which was so very hard, but so freeing once I actually started to do it. Once I actually started to allow the healing to process, to take place. And I really gave it a chance instead of just continuing to just stuff those feelings down, not deal with those feelings, and really just recognize that she's in my life at this point in time, because she hasn't been in my life really since I was like, I think I went to live with my father when I was like 11 years old, 10 or 11. And she's been in my life off and on, but never like she is now. Like for the past 3 years, I've been picking her up from her convalescent home every 2 weeks on Fridays. And it was nothing but God. It was nothing but God that led me to do that. That led me not only for me, but it allowed her also to go through a process of healing, which I know she probably needed to do her whole life probably. And she probably has so much more that she needs to work on. But her being, she's 81 years old. So her being 81 and being able to do this healing with her children that she's needed to do for the past 50 years has been pretty amazing. And it's been a hard process. Like I said, like I've suffered through this physically, mentally, spiritually, but in the end, it has brought so much peace, so much. I've just learned so much. I have grown so much as a woman, as a daughter, as a wife, as a mother. And, it has only helped me to, like I said, grow more. And then for me to be able to share this, and maybe somebody else could benefit from this. But the mother wound can be so deep. I mean, so deep. Your mother is everything. Let me tell you. Your mother is your first everything. I heard someone say your mother is even, I don't know if it was Professor James Smalls. It was someone, I can't remember who said this, but it was just so profound and it really stuck with me. Your mother is your first God. Everything. Your mother feeds you. Your mother teaches you. Your mother nurtures you. Your mother loves you. Your mother does everything for you. You come through her womb. You sit within your mother for 9 months, nurturing from your mother, feeding from your mother. I mean, everything. It is just such a beautiful relationship. Not that the father relationship isn't beautiful also, but the mother relationship is just so deep and profound and such a special relationship. So I think that is why it hurts so much, and that wound can be so deep when you don't have that relationship and that nurturing and that guidance from your mother that you need. So I know for me that was such a deep hurtful thing that I wasn't able to have that. And in place of that, I did have my stepmother, who I basically grew up as like my mother for, even when I was little. She's always been in my life. But even having that beautiful woman as my mother and her to come in my life and take the place and to do the things that I needed from a mother was a beautiful thing. But I still needed my mother, my natural mother. You ache for that. It is something that can never really be replaced, because I don't even know how to explain it really, but I just know that it can't be replaced, and you need that. And even if you don't have it, you need to know, you need closure with it. You need, if there's some type of issue where you haven't been together and you've been, you guys have been apart, you need closure. You need healing. You need to be able to be okay with that relationship in your life, because it's so important. It's your first relationship. It's so important. It's so sacred. So when just going through all that, to say all this, just to come back to the forgiveness part of it. When I started to pick my mother up every 2 weeks, I knew that it was going to be healing for me, and I knew I was going to have to delve into some stuff that I hadn't, and that it was going to be hurtful, and that I was really going to have to like mentally be ready for it. So when I did start picking her up every 2 weeks, we went through all that. You know, she told me why she wasn't in my life, why she, had a substance abuse problem, or why she thought she did. And I thought, I was like, okay, because I never felt mad at her. I just felt very hurt and very like, why didn't you love me enough to do better? But as I grew and I came into myself and I started to do the work, the inner work on myself, I was finally able to realize, and when I became a mother, I was finally able to realize that she didn't love herself enough to love me. There was no way that she was going to be able to love me like she needed to, because she didn't even love herself. And if you don't love yourself, there's no way that you're going to be able to nurture or care or do something for someone else that you can't even do for yourself. So I didn't really come into that realization until I became a mother, until I had my own children and was able to just, the love of your children. Oh my God. You guys, that love is so deep. And so, I've never had any love like that before in my life. I've been in love with my husband. I was in love before that with a fiance that passed away. But I have never felt the love that I feel for my children. Like, it is insane, the love I have for my children. So not being able to love me and give me what I needed was inevitable, because she wasn't able to do it for herself. So just being able to, as an adult now, going through my own healing journey and not being a perfect mom at all, but just being an aware, conscious mother, I was able to really have passion and or have compassion for her, and show her some grace, and myself at the same time, and really know that everything happens for a reason. Everything is divinely in order, as it should be. I wouldn't be the person that I am today if had I not gone through the things with my mother that I went through. So it only made me stronger, but I wasn't able to realize that, unfortunately, until I was an adult. And unfortunately, really, until I started learning how to do this inner work and work on myself and release some things and see some things about myself that needed to change. So one of the things that was really crazy with me being able to go through this process was, every time she would come on every 2 weeks in the beginning, like the first maybe few months were okay. Maybe we both were just, getting used to each other, happy to be in each other's presence, happy that I was able to do this for her, for myself. And then it was just like she kind of just started showing her true self, who she really has always been. And I realized at that point that I don't really know her. That's my phone. I don't really know her. Like, I haven't been around her since I was 10. And at 10 years old, I don't know, I don't remember all that much, besides she was my mother, I loved her, and I, that type of stuff. But I don't remember her personality, who she was. So it was like, now I was really, truly getting to know her. And it was like crazy, because I was saying to myself and then to my husband, and I think my sister, like, I don't even like her. Like, this is crazy. Like, she's driving me crazy. And it was just like, she just kind of was feeling probably more comfortable just to be herself. And I was just like, oh my God, I hate to even feel like this, but I had to be truly honest with myself. Like, she's driving me freaking crazy. Like, I'm going to pick her up every week. I'm doing everything I can, but she's still being that one selfish person that I hadn't seen since I was like 10 or 11. And I really, even at 10 or 11, didn't really get her personality. Not now, not like I do now as an adult. So I really felt bad about that, like, oh my God, I don't like my own mother. But it was so true. Because then my husband would just be like, oh, that's your mother. You have to, no matter what. And I'm like, no, that doesn't matter. Even if she is my mother, that don't matter. She is a human and I'm a human. And we both have the right to be able to say, no, I don't like you, even if you are my mother. So that does not matter. So anybody going through that, don't let anybody tell you that just because somebody's your mother doesn't mean that they deserve to be in your life or they deserve to have your love or anything. They have to work for that, like just like you do with any relationship that you're in. So I had to come to terms with that. And it was like every 2 weeks, still, even though we were I was going through this turmoil of, she just annoys me. I would still go pick her up. And after she would leave, I would come, drop her off, come back, and I would cry literally cry to my husband, like, I don't like her. Why am I doing this? But it was like I needed to do it. I needed to do it for myself, and it was so important. And what I learned from that was with her, because she's not a mean person. She never beat us, nothing ever crazy like that. She's just selfish. She says whatever she wants to say. She can be a little aggressive, and she's going to do whatever she wants to do. No one can tell her what to do. So crazy. No one can tell her what to do. And it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to take in. But the crazy part about it was that when I really started looking at her and the situation and like, God, what am I supposed to be getting from this? What am I supposed to be learning from this situation? Because everything that comes into your life is a lesson. If it is a lesson, and eventually will be a blessing, even when it feels like a freaking curse and craziness, eventually it will be a blessing. So what am I supposed to be getting from this? What am I supposed to be learning? This lady is driving me crazy. And I'm not even going into details with you guys, but just know she was driving me crazy. And it was a lot. And when I really started looking at it, I was like, oh my God, she's really mirroring back to me stuff I still need to work on within myself. I actually saw myself within her. It was crazy. I mean, you guys, it was so crazy. I was just like, she did something one day. No, we were in the car together, and I can be impatient, and she definitely is impatient. But that has been one of my things that I've had to work on over the years, is me being more patient and just being in the moment, calming down. And some car like maybe went in front of us or something like that. And we both was like, going off on the car. I was like, but it made me recognize her within me. And I'm like, oh my God, all this stuff that is driving me crazy about her is really God showing me what I still need to work on within myself. And that I really need to learn to just accept her for who she is. Either I'm going to accept her for who she is, or I'm not going to deal with her. One or the other. There is no in between. So either I'm going to accept her and have peace in my life, or I'm just not going to deal with her on an every 2-week basis and have peace in my life. So I had to make that choice. Like, she's not going to change. I can't change her. She's going to be who she is. So either I'm going to accept her for who she is, or I'm not. And I'm going to continue to work on myself and see these things within myself that I need to work on, instead of blaming her and making myself the victim, because I'm not a victim. I'm here to learn something from this. And it was such a empowering, eye-opening situation that I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, we talk about doing the work. We talk about, the inner work. But when it's right there in your face and you going through a situation, that's when you really know if you're changing or not. if you really doing the work when it's right there in your face? When you have a situation right in your face, how are you really dealing with it? Are you dealing with it? Are you continuing to just ignore it and continue to be the same person? Can you admit to yourself that there's things about yourself that you need to change, even though this person is presenting to you things you don't like, things you don't want to be bothered with? But why? Why is God putting this in your life? Why is this in your face? Because you need to work on it. There's nothing that's ever going to be, God is never going to present something to you that isn't something that you need to learn from. Even the hardest things, the most hurtful things, is always going to be a lesson for you when you dig deeper into it. So for me, this mother wound that I had, and I'm telling you, it affected me mentally, physically. The physical situation was so insane. And that's when I really knew, because I was dealing with some like crazy pain in my left arm. I mean, it was insane. I could barely even move this arm. I can't even describe to you guys the pain. It was beyond 10. Okay. It was beyond 10. And I went to the doctor and everything, and I did that, and they wanted to talk about putting me on prednisone again. I was like, no, I'm not going on a steroid. I know what to do. Change my eating, calm this inflammation down in my body. And I really knew, even though my eating was kind of off than what it regularly is. I was doing, more crazy stuff than I usually do. I knew it was more the things I was dealing with. I knew it. I knew it was the stress. I knew it was just the pain, the reliving that trauma. And I knew that was the main thing. Was I think I was crying about every 2 weeks, was like, I'm reliving this trauma. She's making me think about this. She's making me go back. Like, she kept talking about different things that had happened, but she was making it very trivial and like it was nothing. And for me, it was like, are you crazy? This thing traumatized me. That wasn't a fun time for me. That was crazy. So it was me reliving this stuff. And so what I had to realize was, okay, I gotta deal with this stuff. I can't keep putting it off. I can't keep acting like I'm okay, like I've been doing all these years, because I really thought I had gone through all that stuff and I was okay. I'm 50. Well, at the time I was almost 50, 48, 49. I'm like, I gotta be okay. Like, my life is good. I have children. I'm married. I got a house. Have a couple of businesses, working on myself. And no, I still hadn't done the deep work I needed to do. I still hadn't really faced that stuff. So that was so important for me in order for me to get past this. So what I did was, because I was just like, okay, let me just see within my chakras. I knew it was my heart chakra. Like, I know it was affecting my heart chakra, but I was like, let me just see what it says. So I just Googled, what does it mean spiritually if your left arm is in severe pain? What does that mean spiritually? It was crazy, you guys, because it came up a mother wound. I was like, what? Google, how do you know? How do you know this? But it was just confirmation for me. I already knew what it was, but it was just confirmation for me. Like, that is so. So I really just went within myself and was like, okay, I got to do the work. In my meditations, in my prayer, work through these chakras, make sure I'm eating the right things, calm this inflammation down in my body, and really, really, truly release this and either forgive her or. No, it was just forgive her. There was no or. There was none of that. It was forgive her. And when you are forgiving someone, that doesn't mean that they have to continue to be in your life. That's your choice. They don't even have to know you forgave them if there's someone that you just don't deal with at all. Because there are situations that we have to release and move on from, but that doesn't mean that the person needs to be in our life or we need to be together again or anything like that. That doesn't mean that you need to do that. It just means that you need to release it from yourself so that you're not physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally affected by it anymore. You need to release that. And it is such a freeing feeling when you release that shit. Like, it's done. I'm done with it. It's over. I'm free. And so I was able to do that with my mother. And what my main thing really was was that I was able to allow her, was to accept her for who she was, be more patient, and forgive that, release the past. And I'm still working on it. It's not like it just happened overnight. But I promise you, as soon as I said that, as soon as I put that into my mind and put that out into the universe, that I'm going to accept her for who she is. I'm going to be patient with her. I'm going to be more patient, and I am going to accept her for who she is. You guys, she changed without me having to try to change her. It was crazy. She was more thankful. She was more grateful. I would do her hair every 2 weeks when she would come. She loves to get her hair done. She loves for me to do her hair. She loves to go back to the convalescent home and floss on everybody with her new hair. But she would be so ungrateful when I would do her hair. Like, it was so crazy the things she would say to me if I would straighten her hair and it's not straight enough. You didn't press my hair hard enough. I mean, it was crazy. I'm like, lady, I ain't even got to do this. I don't even have to do this. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. So anyway, she started to show gratitude. She was thankful. She would say things to me like, daughter, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming to pick me up. Thank you for doing my hair. Out of the blue, you guys, out of the blue, I promise you, I never said nothing to her. And I did set my boundaries, though. I told her, look, if you come into my house and you're going to be around my children, you are not going to just be doing anything. Like, you have to follow the rules. And you have to, if you're going to be in this house, you're not going to be doing crazy stuff, period. And I think when I set my boundaries too, that made a huge difference. And that's been like a hard thing for me. Like, that's been a part of my healing and my growing and doing the inner work, self-reflection and all that stuff, is really being able to set my boundaries with people and not being afraid of confrontation. Being able to do it without it being me feeling like it needs to turn into like a big explosion. Or I've always thought of confrontation like that. Like, either if I have to confront somebody that it's going to be something crazy, and then that's just going to be it, and I'm going to cut you off, because that's just how I've been my whole life. But now I know that I can have a confrontation with you or a conversation with you about something that I don't like, and then set a boundary behind it, so that then we are on the same page with what's going on with me and how I feel about something. So I was able to do that, and we've been able to now have a better relationship. And it's been really good because we can laugh together. It's been really good. Like, it's been still times where I'm just like, but when I think about being patient, accepting her for who she is, then it's okay, and not griping about every little thing. So it makes a huge difference. So forgiveness, this is a specific type of situation with my mother, and I know with everyone and their mother, they're not going to be able to have a ending like this where you can still have a relationship and you can still be together. So that's a decision that you have to make. And sometimes we do have to separate ourselves from people if they're not willing to do the work or they're not willing to change. So there were some things I was able to share with her that I've learned, just being a coach, helping other people, helping myself, that I was able to share with her. And I guess she took in some of that advice, and was able to help her at the same time. So hopefully this helps someone and you can get something from this. And it's, like I said, it's not an easy process to be able to forgive someone. I have a really good worksheet that helps a lot of my coaching clients to really work through this process of forgiveness and letting go, and knowing that it's for you, it's not for the other person. So I'm going to definitely, if I don't link it in this video, in the next video, I'm going to make sure that I link it, because I just want to get this one up. But I want to make sure that I do get that. If you do want the worksheet, it really is very helpful, and it'll help you to start the process of forgiveness. And like I said, it's not something that happens overnight. I've been working on this with my mother for the past 3 years, and I probably still will be working on it. But it has been such a great learning lesson for me. And I'm just thankful that I've been able to do this, and thankful that I've been able to now repair our relationship, and that we have a new relationship as two adults, and that I'm not that little girl anymore. And I was able to go back and allow that little girl in me to heal from that situation, and that love that I needed at the time. So now we're able to have a relationship as two adults. So it makes a huge difference. So, like I said, this is just my story, just sharing. So this is not something that you have to take in and do, but hope this helps someone. See you guys in the next one. Peace.